All right, Lee. So here we are.
What's up, dude? We're
How
here.
long have we been talking about doing a podcast?
Just while sitting here, or
Well, while sitting here for
like,
the last
I don't
30
know.
minutes, but
6 years, I guess. I think it was like 2019 the first time we came up with the idea.
something like that.
But-
But that was before you were TikTok famous.
I am not TikTok famous.
I don't know, dude.
I am.
You're the
just
most
a guy that makes fart jokes on the internet.
You're the most followed person in the Church of Christ. Did you know that?
Am I really?
I don't know.
That's not true. That's not true.
I haven't looked it up, but if I was guessing, I'd say you probably are.
I don't know. Maybe. That's cool, I guess. I don't care.
Do you remember that one episode of a podcast that we recorded in your office that one time?
No.
Yes,
When did we do that?
we recorded an episode of a podcast, but someone whom I'm not going to put on blast killed it and said, "Don't post it."
I remember us talking with a third person about doing a podcast together.
Not that third person, though. And also, we don't want to get too in
Oh,
the
no, I
weeds.
do remember
Yeah.
that. Oh, he better be glad we didn't post that.
Well, it was too serious, and
Yeah.
maybe that's a good way for us to start this is what is this? What is this podcast?
We have no idea.
Well, we can talk about what it isn't. We can do that, right?
It is not a podcast where we have show notes. I can tell you that much because I was driving to my studio and Tony was like, do you have any show notes and things you want to talk about? Nope. We're just going to sit in front of cameras and talk, and hopefully somebody likes it.
We've kind of got a rough idea of what this looks like.
We've got some ideas of stuff we want to do and stuff we want to talk about for sure, but not this is not a production, okay?
Yeah.
This is two friends that talk all the time anyways, that have been friends for a very long time, that are just going to sit on camera maybe once a week, maybe once a month. Maybe this is the only episode we ever upload. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
it's definitely not Christian podcast that's going to go on television and call this phone number
broadcasting network.
and call this phone number, and it's not like sermon leftovers.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
We might talk about what we preached on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because we are both preachers. If you didn't know that, my name is Lee. I'm a preacher.
Hi.
Tony is a preacher down in Wildwood, Florida. I live in Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah.
So we will probably talk about what we preached about.
Or
every now
we
and
might
then
not.
if it's pertinent to the conversation. But we might not.
Yeah.
We are definitely going to be doing some cringeworthy church promo videos, showing you all those, and also maybe just showing TikToks, because Tony and I send each other 20 TikToks a day. Actually, I send him 20 TikToks a day, and he might send me one to keep our streak going.
That's not true. That's not true. If you were to open TikTok right now, you'd probably see 15 that you haven't watched.
I mean, it's been a couple days since I checked my DMs, so probably.
Yeah. But I think it's important at the outset for us to just understand that maybe this is a podcast for people who enjoy conversations among friends.
Yeah.
And
we'll have some folks on every now and then, maybe.
Yeah. But we're not trying to solve all of the issues in the church in this podcast.
I'm not trying to solve any issues in the church, to be honest with you. I think crazy people can just be crazy if they want to be crazy.
Or what is it that you say? If you're offended, you probably needed to be offended.
Yeah, it's a quote from the great theologian Tim Hawkins, who once said, "If you're offended, how did he put it?
I don't know.
Those who will be offended need to be offended so they can learn how to not be offended."
I'm just being serious.
And that is my life motto.
I can tell.
I guess.
I
I just feel like people get offended for everything these days, and there's no point in it, man.
Yeah.
You just get mad about stuff. Who cares? Somebody makes a joke, somebody says something you don't like.
That's right.
Move on with it.
Life is short.
It ain't that big a deal.
We're not gonna be on this rock for very long, in the grand scheme of things. There's only
Bible
24
says 80
hours
years.
in a day.
I ain't making it 80 years. I can tell you that much right
Yeah, but there's only 24 hours in the day, so why would you spend any bit of that just getting bent out of shape about anything? And so maybe there'll be times where we're thoughtful, but it's definitely not going to be heavy. We're not trying to right all of the wrongs in the world.
I'm going to reserve the right to do serious episodes every now and then. I also reserve the right to make a complete fool of myself on the internet because I've been doing that for years now, and it's fun. Okay,
Yeah.
So we reserve the right to make episodes about whatever we want to make an episode about, and if you don't like that episode, that's fine. Don't get offended, or if you do, get over it.
It's just not the target audience for that particular
Watch
episode.
the next video.
So that might be a decent little thing. So you started making TikToks during the pandemic in 2020, right?
Yeah. I was bored in my house, or locked in the house and in the house bored, or however that TikTok went in 2020. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you ever see yourself getting 1.9 million
no
followers?
Okay, so Rebecca, my wife, Beck, she gives me a hard time because she started uploading videos to TikTok before I did, and I was making fun of her. And then I started making videos, and it's fun. So I just kept doing it. And I've been doing it now for May will be 6 years.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, May will be 6 years.
I've lived 3 lifetimes since 2020. I don't know about you.
Bro, it does not, can you imagine? It's been 6 years. I still remember every day of the lockdown. As busy as I was trying to be a preacher in COVID, I remember everything that happened. Because, first off, it's a little PTSD. Mm-hmm. If you are not a preacher, let me tell you.
It was weird.
Your preacher survived COVID, okay? That was the hardest work any of us have ever done. And our job is not easy.
We all became broadcasters overnight.
We became full-time YouTubers overnight with no experience, no gear, no nothing.
I learned how to use Adobe Premiere in COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, I learned dude, I was calling friends hey, we got to do a live stream. How do we do this? Mm-hmm. So I started making videos in May of 2020. And then they started blowing up September-ish, I guess. And then kind of rode that wave, and TikTok I've been stuck at 1.9 million for a year and a half, almost 2 years.
It's destiny. That's just where you're gonna live.
I guess.
Do you know the first?
I'm growing followers, but I'm also losing followers.
You're popping off on other platforms though, so it's fine.
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram are blowing up right now. YouTube's fixing to start blowing up. I can feel it.
That's good.
So
are you doing reels on Facebook or YouTube, or are you talking?
Yeah, I've got long form stuff too. Mm-hmm. Most of my long form stuff is shooting guns and hanging out.
Yeet.
I do that a little bit every now and then. In fact, in about 72 hours, I will be at the Gathering in South Carolina, North Carolina, one of the Carolinas, Palmetto State Armory. I think it's South Carolina. Which state is the Palmetto
I've got a PSA
state?
Right now on me.
Well, where'd it come from?
What do you mean?
Look at it. It's got the location on it.
It's very nonchalant right here. Let's see if I can avoid getting anything on camera here.
Ain't nobody care. As long as you don't show yourself loading it and unloading it. YouTube ain't gonna get mad about it.
West Columbia, South Carolina.
South Carolina. So I'll be in South Carolina this weekend. Shooting guns and hanging out.
Yeah, man.
I'm going up there with King of Camo and D-Boss Firearms. They're two awesome dudes. And then you may know him, Aaron Stice. He's a preacher. He's not a full-time preacher, but he's an amazing preacher.
It doesn't sound familiar to me, that name.
So we're going up there. So most of my long-form stuff on YouTube is that. Gun stuff. I make a lot of gun short-form content as well, but Most of my short form content is like funny church jokes, and
Yeah.
you shouldn't be laughing at that. I'm gonna pray for you. And
do you remember the
stuff
first TikTok that I saw of yours that I can remember?
No.
It was the
blind dog.
The blind dog jumping into the wall, but
Yeah,
there was one before that though. Were you eating donuts out of your hat or no, out of a mask?
No,
out of a
my
COVID mask,
bro.
Yes, dude.
Bro, that was a genius idea that I stole from a lady in Canada. I don't know who she is. I don't remember who she is, but she made a video, and back then, TikTok was a lot different than it is today. Back then, it was everybody was. Oh, it got really bright in here. Everybody was like stealing ideas from other people, and it was perfectly fine.
They were mostly doing it for
making
fun.
Funny videos.
Yeah, they were mostly doing it for fun. Now everyone's
nowadays
trying to get rich.
If you, yeah, nowadays people get bent if you take their idea and make it your own. But
yeah,
whoa, sorry about that. But yeah, so a lady in Canada took her mask and put donut holes in it. And I put it to the R. Kelly song of my mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me yes. And then I put the mask on. And then that became a whole trend where I was doing it like I did a semi-brand deal with Wendy's. Mm-hmm. And I went and did Wendy's chicken nuggets. I did Buffalo Wild Wings, boneless wings.
I remember that one.
Because they were saucy.
Yeah, I remember that one.
What else did I do? I did a bunch of stuff. Like I would just put stuff in my mask and I'd, put it over my face like it was a horse feeder thing.
That was during the sunrise, like the heyday of TikTok. Now it's just AI slop.
It's either AI slop or people being offended or people talking about Iran or something else. Or,
I don't know. My algorithm is less political now than maybe it's been in the last couple of years. Yeah. My algorithm's not even that political.
Mine's sort of political. Like my FYP is kind of it's more about just like what's happening in Iran or Iran or how Iran or whatever, however you say
We're
the
in
word.
America. It's Iran. Just like the town where you grew up, right?
Yeah. No, that's Arab.
Arab, right? Alabama.
We know how to say that one. But yeah, my FYP is just fun stuff most of the time. But there is like I like watching military stuff. I you know, that sort of stuff. So that comes across every now and then. But it's a lot different now. Really and truly, I think Facebook is kind of taken over because they're paying their creators too, which TikTok is not paying anybody right now. Like it's horrible.
It's kind of weird. Well, like why TikTok wouldn't be paying people?
I don't know. I'm not. They didn't ask me my opinion, but they should have.
Sure enough.
But, so.
Here's a question.
I make fart jokes on the internet.
So here's a question. Where did the Back Pew come from? What does that mean?
Oh, because that comes from my content. Okay. So, this is mine and Tony's podcast. Okay. This is not like creator Lee and his helper Tony. Okay. This is equal opportunity stupidity. But, I have been talking about the Back Pew for a long time on TikTok and Facebook and all my socials because I think, okay, so this is a little bit of a serious note. I think sometimes preachers, we take ourselves way too seriously.
Never.
And everything we put out is real like theological and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I just want to make videos for people that are barely making it to church. The vast majority of Americans today, I truly believe, want to go to church. We're seeing these like declines in church attendance and stuff. Mm-hmm. I think that's because we take ourselves too seriously.
There seems like a barrier to entry. Like, I can't tell you how many people I talk to on a regular basis who are like, I can't go to church. I need to get my stuff in order and then I'll start going to church.
Yeah. So I make
that
content
idea is so popular
for the people that just sit on the back pew. They're barely making it to church. They walk in, they sit down. Nobody talks to them. They don't talk to anybody else. They're living lives. A few years ago, when Jelly Roll first started popping off, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then he came out that he was a believer of some sort. I listen.
Did you hear his Grammy speech?
Yeah, dude.
That was something else.
It was legit.
You contrast that to like all the other speeches you heard that day.
Yeah. And no kidding. But like I saw a bunch of preachers in the church and outside the church like saying, I can't believe Christianity in America is embracing Jelly Roll. And like, dude, that's the majority of people that go to church these days, where they don't know, they just know they need Jesus. Mm-hmm. They don't know theological perceptions and doctrines and so forth. They just know my life is horrible. I need Jesus. I need to go to church. That's the people I want to make content for.
Right.
And so I want to point out the hypocrisy and stupidity of some of the stuff we do and some of the stuff the religious world in America does. And I just want to make jokes and have fun and stuff. So I've been talking about cut that. I've been talking about the Back Pew for years now, of just like, welcome to the Back Pew. Back, like my first merch t-shirt was a VIP badge of the Back Pew, and it had a little QR code that took them to my TikTok. I thought that was funny. So it's just kind of like my Facebook group is the Back Pew Collective.
Yep.
You know, I kind of use that as my, hey, these are my followers. They're the Back Pew. So
do you know what I thought of?
When we started talking about doing a podcast, we were just like, what should we call it? And I said, well, we can use the Back Pew if you want to, but I don't want that this to be my thing.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean,
that's what we went with.
To a degree, I think the majority of the people who are going to listen to this are people who are more familiar with you, and that's good, because that obviously gives that's a foot in the door. That's an introduction. Hello, who are you? And it's like, here's my friend. Yeah. And so,
by the way, if you aren't following the Tony Clay, you need to, because he is funny. I've been trying to get him to make content for years, but he won't do it. But he needs to, because he's hilarious.
Well, you can follow me on TikTok. I'm going to start posting watch content, mostly, and maybe some comedy, but we'll see.
Oh, by the way, let me warn you, he is hilarious. He's also a giant nerd.
About the thing, everyone's a nerd about the things that they care about, or the
I'm a
hobbies
gun nerd.
or interests that they have.
Tony's a watch.
Do you know what I thought of
like
when
more actual nerdy topics nerd?
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Do you know what I thought about when I first heard like the Back Pew, and knowing you, and we'll get into that, the dynamic a little bit. You know how like. You've been there. I've been there. We've been there. Where so you come in and you sit down on the back pew, and you know, I'm not saying, you know, maybe it's like during one of my sermons. It's kind of boring. Maybe you're not really interested. Maybe it's similar to something that you've heard recently, and so you're sitting next to your friend. And what do? Maybe you're kind of like snickering. Maybe you're kind of talking. Yeah. Maybe you're kind of like passing notes or something like that. And so, like. I don't know, like you're sitting on the back pew being funny, and that's kind of what I was thinking of, where it's this is where the funny people are sitting, and the interesting people are sitting, and maybe they're saying and doing things that they shouldn't do. And I don't know if that says something about like,
I never do anything I shouldn't do.
How many times have you texted me and asked if you should post something or not?
Bro, it happens way too often, and he tells me no when I post it anyway.
What do you think our wives would say about our dynamic?
Okay, idea.
What are we like when we get in the same room
with our wives?
Say what?
We should have a podcast episode with our wives.
Did you hear today that your wife told my wife that they needed to start a podcast? And yes, she made like a graphic of their podcast.
My wife spends way too much time on ChatGPT. Yes, I did. But I told her she can't, because she gives me a hard time, because she started making TikToks, then I started making TikToks, and I blew up. She wrote a book, then I wrote a book, and I have sold a number.
It's successful. It's a bestseller. It's a bestseller. On Amazon.
It is an Amazon bestseller. In 3 different categories.
Yes, I was going to say in multiple categories.
But, like, so I told her she can't start a podcast because then she'll become more famous than me.
That's right. Whoever does it second does it better. Yeah.
But, yeah, so we should have an episode with our wives where we just talk. Because, like...
Maybe we'll do that in May.
Dude, they talk all the time. We talk all the time through text message.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, on a regular basis, I come home and I'm like, Beck, what are you doing? I'm on the phone with Mary. It's 3 hours later, I'm still on the phone with Mary.
It's like midnight.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah.
You're killing me. They talk all the time. What do they think about our dynamic? I don't know. They probably think that you're the level-headed one and I'm the crazy one, which is true.
I'd say it's fairly accurate.
Shut up. You're not supposed to say yes. That was self-deprecation. You're supposed to say, no, you're not crazy. I am crazy.
Maybe we should talk about how we met. And, you know, we've been friends, and we've been, you know, the dearest of friends, the best of friends for what? It's 2026.
16 years.
Yeah, 2010? Is that when we first met? That's when you came to school?
So it's when I came to Memphis.
Yeah.
I was terrified.
You visited the school in 09,
like
though, right?
Yeah, but I don't think we met. Did we?
Yes, we did. Do you remember? Okay. Do you remember what you said to me?
No.
This is good,
bro. I don't remember what I said to you yesterday.
All right. Here we go. This is good. This is a good one.
Oh, geez.
You said you're different in person than on your profile image, because you remember there was that website that was supposed to be like a Christian social media. Was that Saints Meet?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah, no, it was a Christian dating app.
No, that was Meet Saints. That was Meet Saints. That was the offshoot. The main one was just a social network.
I was trying to date girls on there.
Hey, I've got a memory, okay? So it was Saints Meet, and it was supposed to be a social network just for Christians. Like, basically think Christian Facebook. And that died. But
of course, they all die.
But I remember having my profile image, my profile picture, which is just like, if you look at me from like the shoulders or neck up, you'd think, oh, he's a ordinary sized individual.
Okay. Dude, okay. First off, put the picture up so that everybody can see it.
Well,
okay.
I don't know where the picture is.
That's
in
fine.
post, the picture is here.
I've got it saved on my phone. In fact, it's your contact card on my phone still to this day.
From what?
Well, it's you with like Suavecito or some like brute aftershave.
Oh no, that's Aqua Velva, dude.
Okay, Aqua Velva, whatever it is.
Aqua Velva.
It's your profile picture from there. So yeah, I remember that, but I thought that was when I went to school.
I was 18.
Or when I 2010, but anyways,
yeah,
that was my first impression of you, and then I saw you, and I was like, these things don't match.
That's right. From the neck up, you don't look like the way you look from the neck down.
It's okay.
So, I don't know, and you know, people's bodies are weird. So, like, if you look at me from a side perch angle, like, I don't know, like I'm like I'm like a hand, okay?
I'm round all the way around.
So I'm basically a walking, talking hand. So if you look at me from the side, this is what I look like. If you look at me from the front or the back, this is what I look like. And so
it's not true. It's not true.
It totally is. But at any rate, you actually came up to me in 2009 and like, Tony. It's like, oh, hi. You look different than your profile picture online. I don't think you said I'm fat or I think you're bigger than you look, but that was our introduction.
I didn't think you.
But
I don't think you're fat. I
didn't take any offense.
I was expecting a short, like medium-sized guy,
ordinary looking dude,
and then it's a very huge, tall dude.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'9". What?
6'2". I thought you were like my height and like medium build, and you're like a giant.
Nah.
You're like super tall.
So you came to school to scope out the school. You went to New York Suit Exchange and bought 3 suits for $33 each.
$333 for 3 suits, 3 ties, 3 shirts,
That's right.
3 belts, 3 pairs of socks, and a pair of shoes for $33.
It's a solid deal. Now they don't.
No, it's not.
All the buttons pop off of those suits in a day. Don't button a suit from New York Suit Exchange. Now I get suits from Elaine Dupetit. That's where Steven.
Ain't nothing about you shopping at a place called Petite, bro.
It's Dupetit. It's French.
What does Dupetit mean?
I don't know. It's a person's name, I guess.
Oh.
But
you know where I get my suits from? I try not to wear them.
Yeah.
But I like wearing suits, but I try not to wear them because they're not comfortable.
I'm surprised you haven't preached in sweatpants yet.
No, I don't preach in sweatpants. I preach in jeans.
I know.
And a shirt and a tie, or not a tie. Last time I wore a tie was June. Well, the last time I think I wore a couple ties after I graduated.
The man refuses to wear the approved uniform.
Yeah, you find it in the Bible, and I'll wear it.
It's in 2 Cornelius.
It's in 2 Opinions.
So after that,
Deuterocanonical.
So after that, you come to school, and you're a first year student, and like all unwashed heathen first year students, you think you know everything. No, but
I did know everything. Y'all just wouldn't shut up and let me talk long enough. So
we sort of. I don't know. We just sort of fell in. It was kind of natural, just hanging out. We were some of the younger ones, and we were single, and so it makes so naturally we sort of gravitate. So I'm turning 35 at the end of the month. You're turning 45 later this year, and so we were closer in age than some of the others.
How old am I? Hang on. How old am I?
You've got more gray in your beard than I do.
1989. So I'm
91. You're 2 years.
You're
2 years older than me.
37 this year.
I'm
turning 37 this year, right? Yeah.
Old.
Yeah.
And then we were friends during that year, and we hung out, and similar senses of humor. Similar.
You got a girlfriend and stopped hanging out with me.
That's not true.
No, just kidding.
Where'd the girlfriend come from?
I introduced y'all.
Yeah, you did. So it's your fault.
Yeah, listen, I've introduced a lot of people. There for a while, I had a pretty good track record. Now I don't have such a good track record.
Yeah. I mean,
but
unless your name's LeBron, you can't keep playing forever. You got
true.
So you were in your prime as far as matchmaking is concerned, but eventually you got to step away and let the
2010 to 2012, I was killing it in the matchmaking game.
That's true.
But yeah, so then you graduated a year earlier than me.
True.
And then you went to Michigan
for a year. Yes.
And then about the time I graduated, you came to Alabama, right?
Yeah, I moved to Alabama in September of 12.
Yeah.
But I was there for your wedding though.
You were. Yeah. I was too.
That's helpful.
I also don't have a great track record of that because I think I had like 6 or 7 groomsmen. I think I'm friends with you now, so whatever.
That's life, man.
But yeah, that's life. That's just the way it works. But,
how many groomsmen did I have?
I don't know, 3, 4.
I think I had 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think so.
You were a groomsman. Yeah.
And then we moved around a little bit, and you were in Phoenix City, and I came to Columbus, so we got back together, got the gang back together, and hung out for 2 years, and then you ditched. And
that's not true. I got there in January. I got there in January of 2015, and
I got there in
May of
March
2015. May, yeah. I think you tried out in March, but you started in May, didn't you?
I accepted the job in March.
Okay.
Like mid-March, and then we moved April 5th or something like that.
Yeah. But Yeah, the outgoing preacher there was leaving, and I said, "Hey, so and so's leaving. You should reach out and talk to them."
Yeah, that's after I got
you're
canned
welcome.
like a sack of potatoes.
You're welcome.
And I was about to just quit preaching altogether, but my wife and Tony kind of talked me into not stopping. So,
and you've been there for over 11 years.
Is their fault. All of this is their fault. Yep, we've been here
over 11 years. That's impressive. Not everybody can stick around for a long period of time. It says as much about you as it does them. Both of y'all are just stubborn.
No kidding. But yeah, so then you moved, and then we've stayed in touch. We've stayed
for sure
forever. But
absolutely.
But you've been moving around a lot more than I have. And now you're down in Florida. In the orange state. What is it called? The Sunshine State?
Sunshine.
Is that what?
Yeah. Florida's nice.
Yeah,
although today Florida had a tornado watch. When have you ever heard of a tornado in Florida?
Snow. They usually come with the hurricanes. Like you'll have a tornado or two in a hurricane.
Really?
But not like yeah. Like I remember. I think so. When I was little, like I lived in Florida till I was 10. Then we moved to Arab. But like I remember Hurricane Andrew, and I'm pretty sure there were tornadoes associated with Hurricane Andrew too. But back then, dude, we would go swimming in the middle of a hurricane, like in the pool in the backyard.
Y'all crazy.
We'd go swimming. Florida people
built different.
Are on a different level, bro. People that are born in Florida, raised in Florida, they're a different breed of human beings, man.
That's true. So we at camp last year, we go to Central Florida Bible Camp, and one of the coordinators for the week of camp and one of his buddies, there was like a 4-foot gator in a pond at the camp, and so someone had evidently been feeding this gator because it was not afraid of human beings. And usually when they're that young, they're sort of timid, very skittish around humans. But if you've been feeding it and it's familiar, then it's not afraid of you. It's not afraid of humans. And so they're like, this thing's not afraid. This thing's kind of walking up on us. We don't want this thing coming after a child. I mean, like walking back and forth or something. And so so these two Florida country boys, one of them grabbed
crackers.
Crackers, okay.
Yeah, Florida crackers.
So these two Florida crackers and get a fishing pole, and I don't know where in the world they got a fishing pole from, but so
they always got fishing poles, bro.
So one of them throws the fishing pole and hooks it, and starts reeling it in. It starts reeling in this 4-foot gator, this adolescent gator, and then once it's on the shoreline, the other one like hops on it and grabs it around the mouth, and just picks it up. And they carries it off, and they get on the go-kart, and they go up to like the main common area, and they get some like electrical tape and tape its mouth up. Sorry, I hit the mic. Tape the mouth up and tape the arms behind the back. It's like, this is just a Tuesday for these guys. Like
it is though. It is.
There's a gator. Insane. We got to jump on it, and so.
Yeah, that was cool. Insane, dude.
Yeah, so shout out to Kyle and Brandon if they end up finding this. But that was wild. Hopefully there's no gators in camp this year when we go in June.
There might be. I mean, listen, the old saying is if there's a body of water in the state of Florida, there's a gator in it.
I've heard that.
So, But yeah, like I lived in Florida till I was 10, and my mom grew up in Florida. My grandpa moved to Florida right after they got married, so like he was basically Floridian.
Mm-hmm.
Like he probably lived in Florida for 55, 60 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Let's see, it would have been 42 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So, or 43. So. He was kind of we lived on the other side of Oviedo or Orlando in a little town called Oviedo. And so, like, I remember hearing all the stories and seeing Grandpa going gator hunting and fishing and everything else. I was too little to go. He wouldn't let me go with him. But I've even got, there's an old story about my grandpa of he was in a John boat on the St. Johns River and he fell out. And St. Johns River.
He fell out of the boat?
Yeah. St. Johns River covered in gators. He fell out of the boat and it was doing circles around him. And like his buddy had to come and jump off of his boat onto Grandpa's boat and stop it and then get Grandpa out of the water. And they took that and they took all the stories of him hunting and all that stuff and they had a caricature made. And I've got that in a frame in my house of all the like cool Florida stories from my grandpa.
Wow.
From 1958 to when he died in 2000. So Florida, like, I love Florida, but it is a different world down there, man.
I like Florida. I just don't know if Florida likes me.
Yes, it does. Oh, well, listen,
it's so hot.
There's a lot of Canadians in Florida.
You know, and I know you're trying to be funny. I'm not Canadian. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, which is not in Canada, but it is about as close as you can get to Canada without being in Canada. And so
if
I'll
you
allow
wanted
it.
to go to Canada from where you grew up, which direction would you drive first?
You would drive east?
South.
Not necessarily. You would cross the bridge from Detroit into Windsor, which is Canada.
Did you live north of the bridge or south of the bridge?
I lived south of the bridge. I lived downriver.
Oh.
Yeah. Ha! Threw a wrench in that, didn't I? But
for 16 years now, I've told people that Tony is from Canada, by the way.
I'm not.
That's the inside joke. Everybody I meet, I tell that my best friend is from Canada.
You know, I do have some Canadian in me. My mom's side of the family are French Canadian.
That mean? You like maple syrup?
Maple syrup. I mean, you like maple syrup. Maple syrup's delicious. I mean, what self-respecting human being doesn't like maple syrup? I heard recently that some people can be allergic to maple.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, have you ever had sorghum syrup? That's back home at North Alabama thing. Sorghum syrup.
Is that like the cane syrup?
Yeah, it's cane
Mary's papa would take the Golden Eagle syrup and mix it with butter and put it on a biscuit. It's actually good.
Yeah, dude. So sorghum, I believe, is a little different than the cane syrup. But like sorghum syrup is like a North Alabama thing.
Mm-hmm.
But cane syrup's more like South Alabama, Florida. I don't really know what sorghum is, but it doesn't taste like maple syrup.
It sounds foreign, to be honest with you.
It tastes awesome. And there's a place back home in Huntsville that does like it's like a living museum kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And every year they used to make sorghum syrup. We'd go up there but like all the old timers in North Alabama would make sorghum syrup if they had sorghum growing on their thing. And I want to say sorghum is like a millet kind of thing.
It sounds like a disease.
Doves eat it.
I got sorghum.
Sorghum?
It sounds like something that would afflict your feet or something, right?
Yeah, like consumption and sorghum.
I got the sorghum toes. But
that's what you get when you soak your feet in sorghum syrup.
No, that's
sorghum toes.
That's what happens when you're in the war and you don't change your socks, and so your feet get wet and you got the sorghum toes.
Yeah, exactly.
All
right, dude. Well, we've been going for a while. We should probably start to wrap this thing up.
Why are you trying to shut us down, man?
Well, because it's Monday. I'm hoping we'll record on Thursdays because that's an easy day for me.
Yeah.
But it's Monday, and I got to go here in a little bit and teach my Cub Scouts.
Oh, that's cool. That's fun.
Yeah. We do Cub Scouts in our family. It's a blast. It really is. My boys love it.
Well, one recurring theme or segment that we want to have on this podcast is, sort of this week in internet or things that we saw
in Christian internet. Let's put it,
Christian internet, and
let's put it in a box.
Let's be honest. Who's been like doom scrolling at 11 p.m. on a Saturday night, and they see some like weird stuff that finds their timeline or finds their algorithm. And so if you find any of that in Christian internet clean and viewable by members of the entire family, you can actually submit that to us, and we might feature it in a future episode. Where can they send that?
They can either send it to the Back Pew Pod on Facebook. So just look up the Back Pew Pod. We got a page. Go like us over there and on Instagram. You can send it on Facebook or Instagram. So if you're scrolling and you see it, right, just send it to the Back Pew Pod on Facebook or Instagram. Okay. We'll probably set up a TikTok too. I hadn't done that yet. That's kind of my responsibility. I hadn't done that yet. But you can send it to us on the platform, or we are going to have an email account you can send it to as well.
Didn't you make that already?
I was trying to. Google was causing me problems and not letting me because apparently I have too many Google accounts associated with my phone number.
Google's just a bunch of communists, They just hate America and hate fun.
Don't get me started.
Allegedly.
But yes, if you see it on a platform, send it to the Back Pew Pod on that platform. That's the easiest way to do that. And if you don't see it on a platform or whatever, you want to email it, we're going to get an email set up. Hopefully by the next episode, we'll have that for you. But start sending us stuff now. Maybe we can do like a whole episode that is just a meme review or just funny video review or whatever. So if you see like super cringy church promo videos, I love those. Please send them to me.
Dude, I know exactly which ones.
Please.
Couple quick
the funniest
hitters
right now are all of the ones where it's the horse and the horse kicks and then a kid flies into all the chairs in the sanctuary auditorium, whatever you call it. Those are funny.
I saw one for like a Ford dealership for that too.
Yeah,
I saw one that was like an asteroid falling out of the sky or something like that, and it landed like at a church or something like that.
So if you see funny or cringy church stuff, Christian stuff, things like that, if you see funny videos that aren't specific to Christian or church or whatever, send them to me or to Tony. But if you want to submit something for us to review on the Back Pew Pod, send it to the Back Pew Pod on Facebook or Instagram, hopefully TikTok and then coming days, and eventually we'll get an email address. We have done so much planning for this, y'all. You don't understand.
Before we
like 10 times.
Before we wrap up, though, here's a couple quick hitters.
Okay.
What do you think is the most underrated church potluck food?
Underrated church potluck food, bro.
Like every church potluck, this is like absolutely goated.
The Walmart, when people can't cook and they go to Walmart and buy stuff, I'm fine with that. Don't feel bad about bringing stuff like that to a church potluck.
Down here, it's Publix fried chicken. That's what it is down here.
Dude, we get Publix fried chicken every potluck.
Publix fried chicken is absolutely straight gas.
It's like it is good. And pub subs are legit.
Chicken tender subs, dude.
It's like a pound cake, but there's like 3. It's like lemon, regular, and chocolate.
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I'll throw down on those.
The lemon one's got like crunch stuff on top of it.
Yeah. Those things, it comes in like the plastic shell, collapsible shell thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those are no matter what. If there's nothing at a potluck, there will be those, and I will be eating them.
So for me, we've got a guy, and you might sometimes the fellas get overlooked. You assume that it's the women folk who are cooking all the food. And 99.9% of the time, perhaps that's true. But we've got a fella who makes a peanut butter pie. Like a 50-year-old dude. A 50-year-old dude.
Bro, Peanut butter pie is awesome.
Who's making a peanut butter pie, and it's
shout out Kevin.
Amazing. Shout out Kevin's peanut butter pie.
Kevin, you can send that peanut butter pie to 4765 Warm Springs Road, but you got to tell me it's coming because that's the church address.
That's right, and you have to refrigerate it. All right, now what is a hill that you would die on that doesn't really matter much?
You gonna ask me that?
Yeah. It can be.
I don't know.
It's the silliest thing. A hill that you would die on.
I don't know. You pick for me because I got a lot of hills. I'll
start. Okay.
I'm a hilly person.
This will come up again, but we want the first episode to be kind of a general idea of where we're going with this, which means in every direction at the same time. Yes.
Exactly.
And chicken quesadillas from Taco Bell. Do you know how much they cost?
Those are pretty legit. No.
$7.19. That's how much a chicken quesadilla at Taco Bell costs. Do you know how much
it's a tortilla with chicken and cheese?
It's the cheapest thing and the easiest thing to make on the menu, and I'm not kidding. It is the most expensive item on the menu without subbing steak for something else.
The cheese roll up is probably the easiest and cheapest because it's just a
quesadilla
rolled up with no chicken on it.
But why? The only reason it's $7.19 is because it's popular, because people like it, and it's always been popular. People have always liked it. But like a grilled cheese burrito is $5.99. Like a crunch wrap is like $4. A beefy 5-layer burrito is $5.
They're going to come into the episode right now, and it's just two big guys talking about how expensive Taco Bell is.
Why is the chicken quesadilla $7 when it's the easiest thing to make? It doesn't make any sense.
Don't know.
I will die on this hill, but it doesn't really matter now.
I can't think of a hill I would die on, but you know a lot of hills that I'll die on, so you pick one for me.
I don't know.
What's the latest thing? By the way, part of our friendship is me just being stubborn about stuff that I know I'm wrong about, but I'm never going to admit that I'm wrong about it.
Lee will die before he ever admits that he was wrong about something. He will never say these words, "You're right."
I will come up with a reason why I'm right.
2 weeks ago, I searched our text message history that spans, because we have iPhones, that spans like years and years and years. I searched for the words "you're right," and not a single time has Lee ever said "you're right."
No, we found one.
But you were talking about like something else that someone else had said.
You were right, but it was like 2019 was the last time I did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, it's funny.
It is funny. You're funny.
I knew I was wrong. 15 minutes ago. Okay, but I'm never gonna tell you that. Why would I ever admit that to you?
Yeah. Well, if you wanted a look at what our friendship looks like off camera, this is it. This is a glimpse into our friendship. You know, preachers need friends. Christians need friends. And you know,
and if you thought this episode was super boring, give us 4 more chances.
Why 4?
Because the next one might be boring too. Okay,
yeah.
Let's be honest.
Well, you know, it takes a minute to feel out the format. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's it. We're just feeling out the format.
Sure enough. And overcoming some technical difficulties and whatnot too. So
yeah,
but
make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Follow us on all the other stuff and start sending us videos so that we can review them on the Back Pew Pod.
Yes, and you can save this podcast on all podcast platforms and have it automatically downloaded if you're crazy. Who does that?
Yeah.
Who has podcasts downloaded to their phone? I don't know. But all the things, Apple Podcast, all the places.
That's all Tony's responsibility, and it's probably already set up and done.
It's not.
But
wherever you consume podcasts, you can find this in audio, and on YouTube you can find video. I'm sure. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah. But thanks for hanging out.
Yep.
Yeah. Have fun.
We'll see you later. Have fun.
See ya.
Bye.